Hi, this is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. I hope everyone's having a great weekend. Just want to jump into the trade reviews real quick. Just a quick reminder, everything in the video is for educational purposes only. So looking back, wow, this is an easy day. All you had to do was short the open and grab your box of popcorn, pop on your favorite movie, and cover at the close. And don't we all wish it was quite that easy when we are, when we're coming in the morning, but it's not. And so when I was looking at this morning, we had a couple of things. So when we look at the volume profile coming into the day for the 24-hour session, right? We see we had this entire unauctioned area right in here. And so it gave the potential for coming in and filling. However, usually what happens when we have a strong breakout is that we'll get these, like this was in reverse, but it was the downside, large unauctioned area, and we'll push into that area, but we tend to balance. It's pretty rare we come down or we push all the way back into it as soon as we've come down like this. However, there's a big difference here, and that's that none of this area above this point was very well auctioned in the overnight. We're in new high territories. And so there's nothing to work against in this area. So at this point, all we've done is come in and do some back and filling right back to where we had prior support. The other thing that I noticed is if you look on the daily profile, we've now had a lower high from the prior day on the day session only. And often what that leads to is a hint that there may be a change going forward. And usually the change that I anticipate is that we'll have a larger range balance. It doesn't mean that any one day we can't have a directional move, but it'll be within the context of a larger term balance. Now, keep in mind, the market doesn't have to do that. We can turn around and go straight back up and hit new highs. Monday morning, this could have simply been a back and filling, and now we're ready to take off again. I don't know. I'll let the market dictate that to me. The other thing that kind of didn't catch me by surprise, but kind of, if I'm going to lean one way or the other, if we look at the session coming into the session, right? This is ES on top. We kind of just balanced all night in a tight range. But if we look at NQ was pushing right out of the gate. We're pushing really ever since London. We were pushing new highs coming into the US session. And these are new highs, not over only Globex highs, but these two lines here kind of mark the general area of the prior session high from Thursday. We weren't pushing here. However, if you go back and look over the last 3 weeks and actually the last 3 months, every time the NQ is pushed, if you stepped in front of that short with the ES, you got ran over fairly quickly. So for those people who shorted out of the open and out of the gate, and I'm sure there's plenty of people on Twitter who did so, positive. But that's been a losing trade for the most part over the last 3 weeks. So I'm totally fine missing it. Once we failed here, it was a little bit easier to see. And then once we failed below when we fail below the lows, the Globex lows and prior day lows, you kind of have to look and kind of make a determination where, that's not the hottest sign. Usually what I like to see is them to come back in and trap late sellers and then push back up. But we never came back in outside of this little attempt right here, but we never broke the lows on this attempt. After the lows were broken from prior day and Globex high, we never pushed back in. And I had said in the video I'd sent to my clients pre-market that was one of the conditions I was looking for, is that a possible failure at highs on NQ could lead us to putting sellers in control. Also, if you look on the white zone, and this was the same that held true for the white zone on ES, the white zone here failed to give a decent rotation up. We rotated within the white zone. However, once we were below, what does the white zone determine? White zone is very clear. Buyers are in control above, sellers are in control below. Once we were below this thing, sellers just had it all day long. That's all there was to it. And so yes, did I take some trades that I got stopped on? Yeah, I took a trade here. that I ended up flatting actually. I took the very back of this zone. Excuse me, I stand corrected. I had to go back. I either took this area or this area, and I don't have my notes in front of me, so I apologize. But either way, when we were unable to extend for 2 points, I'm pretty sure it was the back of this zone that I took. When we were unable to extend for even 2 points, I took the trade out for -3 ticks. I'm quite certain it was here. Then I kind of took a pause. I took the back of this zone. I'm certain of that. I took 1710 long, was stopped out for a 2-point stop behind the back of the zone, a total of 3 points of loss. And I did not take the short here, which looking back on it, I should have. I just did not see us having a straight down long liquidation day, and we did, and that's okay. I misread it. I did take a short here at 1705 at the end of the day when we were unable to push back up, as we've been unable to all day long, and I was able to get 2 points off. And so net of the trades I put on Twitter, I was down 1.5 points for the day. Totally livable. Still a good week. Still made money on the week. Still doing okay for the month. You'll notice that I wrote a little piece on at the top of the page here in terms of watching what goes on when we're talking about sticking to a trade plan. And what I mean by that is this. Markets go through periods where they're harder to trade with your trade plan. And what the instinct to do is say, well, I should be figuring this out every single day. Well, you are figuring out. If you took the same trades I took over the course of the month, you're up. We have a week to go. We could easily get to 30 points. We could even get to 40 points if it's a standout week, right? 30 points on ES, that's $1,500 a contract you trade. Even a modest size account can trade 4 or 5 contracts. And so the question is, what is your nut that you have to make every month? What's the hurdle that you have to jump that you can't take a difficult environment where you're profitable in a difficult environment, and that's not satisfactory enough? That's a pretty good paycheck every month, and it's something that I would take even if you're taking half of it out of there in a rough month, right? Because once this thing gets good, you can make a lot of money once the setup comes properly, and if you follow a system as I'm always telling my clients. Increase your size as you trade successfully, as your account grows, as you continue to take profitable trades. There'll be a period where you have rapid acceleration of trade size. There'll be periods of slow acceleration of trade size. But if you stick to your plan, right, you stick to your stop loss, and what's my theory on stop loss? I don't want to lose more than I can make up the following day on any one trading day. If I get 2 stops back to back, I tend to stop trading for the day, almost always. There's rare exceptions to that, but almost always, okay? And if it's another market you want to trade, make sure that your edge exists in that other market. That's all I can say to traders who are frustrated, but abandoning your trade plan or going, screw it, this doesn't work, or this is too hard, or you should be capturing every move. No one captures every move. There's traders out there that I respect. Bama Trader's a guy I follow a lot. He gets it wrong sometimes. Vader7X is a guy I follow a lot. He gets it wrong. I've had months where I've had the most smash up, bang up month of the year, only to see him come in and go, well, I got my ass kicked today. So everyone loses and everyone makes sometimes. Now, I try to stay consistent in the winning department, even in my hard months, and I tend to do that. Anyone who's followed me, I don't think I've had a down month since I've started this blog. I don't think I've had a down week since I've started this blog, actually. And every trade that every trade plan that I've had, and every post-trade review is out there. People can go and see. I've posted clients who've followed me in the coaching. I really believe you can be profitable day by day. Can you be wildly profitable day by day and consistently? Probably not. But if you can get through the periods that kind of suck, like right now where we're just getting directional move after directional move, there's no two-way market. Okay, so you make a little bit of money right now. If you consider $1,000 a contract a little bit of money. You want to go in and hit home runs. Well, when the market gets home runnable, go do it. It's okay, but don't go, oh, well, screw it. This isn't working. I'm going to go trade oil. And oil isn't working today. I'm going to go trade euro. And euro isn't working today. I'm going to go trade yen. All of those markets work to one degree or another, but they all have their own little nuances. And what most people are doing is like well, Simon's not calling trades well today, or Simon's trade plan isn't generating the trades that I want. I'm going to go follow someone else. Or my plan, because I didn't take my trade today, my setup, right? Today, so tomorrow when the setup does work, I'll be like, dang, why didn't I take my setup? I knew it was going to work. And the answer to that is very simple. My trade setups work the majority of the time. I have fail safes in there to keep me from getting my ass kicked. So that I can come back the next day or the following day and still be able to trade without being worried. And if you don't have that kind of system, you don't have that kind of fluidity in your plan where you can be flexible, where you can stop and go, hey, I don't have it today. It's okay. If I let go of the trade, you're destined to have your ass kicked. That's all there is to it. And so there are some traders that can, trade multiple markets and just switch. They don't have to trade plan, nothing, and they nail it. Okay, those guys are the Michael Jordans of this market. There's very few Michael Jordans. Most of us are lucky to be bench warmers on a team, right? And bench warmers in this game can make a shitload of money, okay? But not if you're not consistent, okay? A guy who stays in the NBA for 12 years and only plays a minute a game can make tens of millions of dollars over the course of a career, right? But if he can't stay consistent, he doesn't do what people need him to do, which is come and do that specific role on a team, okay, then he's out of the NBA after a year or two. And there's a lot of talented guys who are working at crappy jobs. They've gone from making the potential millions a year to making $50,000 a year, and they're all over the place. So ask yourself what kind of trader you want to be. And if you go, hey, I want to trade, I trade the euro, I trade crude, I trade all those things, right? But I spent time developing a trade plan and a methodology that works for those markets. I just didn't jump in and go, hey, let me see what I can do. Okay. I use different methodologies in those markets because they require it. So anyways, I hope that helped. Anyone can trade profitably and consistently, but you have to be willing to be a professional. You have to be willing to put the time in to learn how your trades work, and then you have to be willing to let the market come to you. And if you can't do that, you're just going to get frustrated and you're going to lose money. And losing money really sucks. So anyways, this is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. I certainly hope that helped. Next week should be a good week. I'm looking forward to it. And, we shall go from there. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me on Twitter. You can DM me on StockTwits, or you can send me an email, tradeandperform@gmail.com. I hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. Don't forget to tell people in your family you love them, and be grateful that you can trade. If you're trading for a living and you're doing it well, be grateful for it. Working at a Fortune 500 company would suck. Okay, guys. See y'all later. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.